after run oil. Do you actually need to use after run oil? And how do you even use it? Those are the questions that are on quite a lot of people's mind when they first get into Nitro, because they'll be, as you do these days, you go onto the internet and you hear all these kind of things. People saying all these, you must use this, you must do that, because they try to make it sound more complicated than it is, because it makes them sound clever. If they come out with a load of complicated stuff, people start going, wow, 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 how do you do this? How do you remember all this? This is really complicated. And if something's complicated, it sounds good. Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but a lot of the times things ain't that complicated and they're quite simple. And that is how after run oil goes. Do you need to use after run oil? No, you blooming well don't need to use it. Is it a good idea to use it? Yes, it's a good idea to, but do you need to? No. That's that really, there's not a lot to that. I will add though, if you are a racer, which if you're a racer, you will be experienced in Nitro, and therefore you probably won't be looking up videos on whether you need to use after run oil or not. However, if you've got a race engine, so to speak, is what they call them, a more high tolerance engine, and obviously costs a lot of money, it is very, well, it is a good idea to use it after every run. But just for the normal hobbyist, like you and me, with a normal Nitro engine with a sticky oil on the top of it, do you really need to use it? No. For 20 years, I never used it, and I very rarely use it now, to be honest with you. There is an alternative as well. You can buy little bottles like this of after run oil, different brands and makes. Probably £5 or £6 for a little bottle like this. You can buy bigger bottles, but obviously they're more expensive. Or you could simply go down to the DIY shop and get yourselves some of this 3-in-1 oil. Multi-purpose 3-in-1 oil. It is just as good, and you can get this bottle, I think it's probably about £2, £3, and you get a hell of a lot more in it. And of course you can use it for oiling up all your other parts as well. So a lot of the time I'll just stick some 3-in-1 oil down the old cylinder. All after run oil is, I dare say, there may well be some secret ingredients in after run oil, but it's essentially just oil. Another oil you can use is 2-stroke oil. Just get some 2-stroke oil, put it in a little bottle or a little thing so that you can easily drip it down the old plug hole there, and you know, that'll oil up the cylinder and or the sleeve or the liner, whatever you call it, and the piston after it's been run. The whole point of oiling up with either after run oil, 3-in-1 oil, any type of oil, the whole point of oiling it up is because it gets very hot in there, and it is a 2-stroke after all. So adding some oil when you finish running it just helps to keep everything lubricated when it's sitting there. And they are fairly delicate. They're quite tough, Nitro engines, but they're quite delicate. So that's the idea of it. Back to, do you need to? No, you don't. I had a Savage 21. I never put any after run oil in it, and it's still going strong to this day. The engine is still good to this day. Loads of other Nitro cars, I've never used any type of oil at all. Literally just stop them, put them in the cupboard, and they're still perfectly fine. But obviously it's a good idea to keep things lubricated, so if you do use after run oil, it makes you feel good because you're doing something to look after your engine, and also you are, of course, looking after it. You're helping to make it live longer and perform better, and so it's never going to be a bad thing sticking a bit of oil down there. So obviously I've already mentioned about putting oil down in the old plug hole. So the other question that a lot of people, they ask me, and I'm assuming other people still think the same, how do you even use it? Where'd you put it? Someone said to me, do you put it down the carburetor? Well, I suppose technically you could put some down the carb, because that will find its way into the crank, because on a 2-stroke, the air fuel mixture goes into the crankshaft, goes around, oils up the crank and all them bearings, and then it gets sucked up for a port into the top of the cylinder, on top of the piston there. That's where it gets burnt and chucked out the exhaust. So really, you could put some down the carb, and that would sit in the bottom of the crank, and obviously keep the crank and the bearings and all that lubed up while it's sitting around. And then obviously when you fire it up next, it would just suck it up and burn it off. So you could do that. But the proper way, and well, the normal way, is you want it to sit on top of the piston. That's what you want it to do, is sit on top of the piston. Because obviously if you put it down the carburetor, it's not going to make its way up to the piston when the engine's not running. It's just going to sit in the crank. Excuse me. So you want it to sit on top of the piston. So all you do, it's very simple. Undo your glow plug like that after you've ran it. It doesn't have to be immediately after you've ran it, and typically that's going to get stuck in there. It's a good idea to get a spanner with the little arms, little pinchers in there that grab onto the plug. I've got loads of them, but they've all broken. I use mine fairly often, and I haven't got any left that work. So when they get stuck, you can either tip the car upside down and the plug falls out, but I've only got one hand, so I'm going to use a pair of long nose pliers. There we go. Take the plug out. And now, you can probably, well, you'll be able to see your piston. Whether you can see mine, I don't know. It's a bit of a shadow there. But you want to make sure that it's on bottom dead center. So the piston's all the way down. You can see the piston now. See the piston going up and down there. So the piston's at the top now. You make it so it goes all the way down at the bottom. There we go, it's on the bottom. And then you get your after run oil or your 3-in-1. I'm going to get the 3-in-1 because it's easier for me to undo with one hand. And then you simply try to aim it. There you go, a few drips. You want it to cover the whole surface of the piston. You can fill it right up if you want to, but that means you'll have to get it out before you start it up next, otherwise it will hydrolock. I just put a few drips down there. That coats the top of the piston and around where the piston seals against the liner. And yeah, simple as that. You put your glow plug back in again, and there we go. So I've had some people ask me before I start the engine up next, I put after run oil in it last time I ran it. Then before I start it up now, do I need to get the oil out? No, you don't. No, that will just burn off. You know, you might get a bit of extra smoke when you first start it up next, but it will just burn off. It will combust perfectly fine. That's what it's for. Oil combusts. And anyway, nitro's got oil in it anyway. You don't need to do a single thing. You literally just put it in after you've ran it, and then you forget about it. Just forget about it. Don't overthink it. Just forget about it. And the next time you run it, it'll be a happy and healthy engine. So there we go. Any questions about anything really to do with nitro, and I'll do my best to help you. And if I see it's worth making a video, I'll make a video about it. Other than that, I'll just reply to your question. After run oil, a nice idea, a good idea. Is it necessary? Is it a need? No, not with the normal hobbyist nitro engine. It is with a race engine, a high tolerance engine that's worth a lot of money, but not so much with your normal hobbyist nitro engines. I hope that's helped you. I hope that's answered any questions. And as I said before, you can use any oil. If you wanted to, you could use blooming 1540, yeah, or 1030, 1040 oil. Just a few drops, and it will help it. It might make it a bit difficult to start if you did use that oil, but you can use any oil. The idea of it is to oil it up. I'll see you a lot later on. Take care, love life, and I'm just about to have some breakfast. Look what I've got for breakfast. Bit of a strange choice, I know, but I got some chicken dippers for breakfast. I know. You're thinking to yourself, why? Because that's all I've got. Looked around this morning and thought, what's I have for breakfast? I haven't got anything. I've only got chicken nuggets. Happy days. I've got no sauce to go with them though. Doesn't matter. I'm easy. Cheerio.